How's it going? I want to do a movie review today on a movie that I just saw, and that movie is Suicide Squad. Now, as you know, Suicide Squad has been really heavily slammed by critics. You know, a lot of critics have talked about how it has a lot of CGI, how it has a very weak storyline. Some have said it has no storyline. They just have been giving the movie terrible reviews. In fact, the only critic that I heard give the movie a decent review was Kevin Smith, the filmmaker. And I don't think there's a comic book movie that Kevin Smith, the filmmaker, does not like. In fact, he even named his daughter Harley Quinn. But I decided I would, see for myself to see if the movie was really that bad. And I saw the film, and I can say that I thought the movie was not as bad as critics say it is. However, it was still not a great movie. But not terrible either. I think critics have been a little too hard on the movie. I know, for example, that there have been some people that, haven't really liked Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker in this film. Some have liked it, some haven't liked it. It was definitely a different spin on that character. I definitely thought that Jared Leto kind of brought like a Marilyn Manson kind of vibe to the Joker. The Joker really seemed like he could be in the band of Marilyn Manson. That's what I thought. And, some people like that. Some people didn't like it. I didn't think it was particularly terrible. I mean, I thought that was an interesting spin on that character. Harley Quinn was another one. Harley Quinn had a very kind of like punkish, punk rock kind of image. That character, when she originated, I believe it was in Batman the Animated Series, didn't have that image. But they gave her more of, like I said, like kind of a punk rock kind of image. And I thought that was an interesting spin on that character as well. Another character in the movie was Deadshot, who was played by Will Smith. Now, I'm not much of a Will Smith fan. However, I did like Will Smith in this movie. I thought he played a very good Deadshot. And, Deadshot is, like I said, one of the characters very similar to the character Deadpool. In fact, someone ripped off somebody because the characters look the same. They kind of, have like this, they're both assassins, just very similar characters. So yes, somebody ripped off someone. I just don't know who, but yeah, so, there were other characters in this, such as Killer Croc was another character. Now, Killer Croc, I'd say that character had kind of a sci-fi vibe to it a little bit. Definitely an interesting Batman villain. I think the character originated in the comics around 83 and was later brought into Batman the Animated Series, because Batman doesn't really have a whole lot of characters that could give him like a really good physical fight. Killer Croc is one of them, Bane is another, but I could tell they wanted more characters that could really match Batman physically. And, Killer Croc is one of those. But, you had some other characters in here, like there was this Australian boomerang guy who, I don't know if this character was from the comics or what. Didn't really seem to be a whole lot to that character. The same goes for Slipknot. I know they didn't really do too much with Slipknot. Kind of don't really know why they even had the character in the movie. There was another character, I believe his name was El Diablo, kind of, shot flames out. There was a little more depth to that character, I would say, but again, they didn't focus on the character too much. They mostly focused on Harley Quinn and Deadshot. And I would say one thing that I did like about the movie is I did like how some of the characters kind of colorful. There was some kind of amusing banter between the characters. So I definitely liked that. This movie also had like a lot of like classic rock in it. And right away, I immediately sensed that they got that from Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, that was very obvious. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy was a very successful film, so you could tell that they were definitely copying that from Guardians. And, you know, it was really obvious. But, yeah, so there's some other things. There's another character in the movie, like a Japanese samurai woman character who had the sword that could steal the souls of the people she kills with it. Now that right there, I could immediately tell was taken right from the Elric saga. You know, Elric of Melbourne has this sword called Stormbringer, and the sword takes the souls of the people it kills. So that was the same with this character. But yeah, there were some other interesting things. You know, Ben Affleck makes a cameo in this movie as Batman, and spoiler alert, I'm about to give a spoiler of one of the other characters in the movie, but there was another DC hero in this film, and that was the Flash. So you had the Flash show up briefly in the movie. But yeah, as a whole, like I said, not a terrible movie. I know there was a lot of editing done in this movie, and a lot of Jared Leto's Joker scenes were cut. And the reason why that was is I guess Batman vs. Superman didn't do that well, because I think they felt it had too dark a tone. So they kind of wanted to change the tone of this film to kind of more of a upbeat kind of tone to it, and make it a little more humorous. So they ended up deleting a lot of Jared Leto's Joker scenes, and I guess he wasn't really too happy with that, because he really did shoot a lot of scenes with the Joker, and the Joker is hardly in this movie at all. And you'll hear critics, you know, talk about that. That is kind of billed as being sort of this main character of Suicide Squad. It's not even in the movie that much. You know, they really did, like I said, focused a lot on Harley Quinn and Deadshot. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. You know, like I said, I did not think the movie was as bad as critics say it was. However, I didn't think it was really that great as well. So, that's my Suicide Squad film review. I hope you enjoyed it. I thank you for watching.